Hi, I'm very excited about this video. This is my part 2 of Tarot Archetypes. So this video is overviewing my theory of masculine archetypes as they pertain to our personal healing, growth, expansion, and ascension. Before I begin, I'm going to note this is not about men or male identities. I frame masculine energy as the externalizing or application of elemental or internal elemental energy, otherwise known as feminine energy. To get a broader understanding, watch part 1. That's the theory of feminine archetypes. I'll put the link in the description because it's from a few months ago. But in that video, I go in depth on my theory of developing our internal awareness by confronting opposition. That's known as our sacred mirrors. This video is viewing the masculine archetypes as the journey from the outside view, or how it looks in form. So without further ado, here's my theory on masculine tarot archetypes, or otherwise external energy expressions on the course of ascension. So let's begin. Of course, first, I will introduce number 4, the Emperor. The Emperor represents our personal authority in action, intelligence, discipline, self-control, the ability to lead others, take advice, make decisions, and see a broader perspective. There are 3 kings that I've identified as pre-Emperor energy. King of Swords, King of Pentacles, and King of Wands. So considering the kings, these are external applications, demeanors, expertise, performance roles, skill sets, dominant features. So let's look at them one by one. The King of Swords is of air energy. This energy is perceptive, analytical. It represents communication, conviction, and personal truth. King of Pentacles is earth energy. This energy represents practicality, structure, longevity, stability, and tradition. The King of Wands is fire energy. This represents innovation, instincts, creativity, sexuality, and pleasure. Also personal will. These 3 kings harmonized leads to the position of the Emperor. Again, the Emperor is personal authority in action, intelligence, discipline, self-control, the ability to lead others, take advice, make decisions, and see a broader perspective. That second part of that leads me to the Hierophant, because the Hierophant advises the Emperor. The Hierophant is moral code or conduct, like rules of conduct, okay? So this helps influence and keep the Emperor in line. So what does this look like? Well, should any of these 3 king energies be in a position that is out of line of moral conduct for too long, so considering them in the reverse, if any of these energies are left unchecked in the reverse for too long, that then puts the Emperor energy in a position to be changed. This is going to be a different video, but this is what's happening in our society right now. Just keep your eyes peeled. back to the personal journey side of things. We're going to consider what these look like in an immoral state and expression, to which the Hierophant energy would put in check and then correct. Okay? The swords in misconduct is dishonesty, harsh communication, foul language, or manipulation. Pentacles is immoral with finances and resources, and overall an abuse of power and the compromising the integrity of a social structure. Considering misconduct with the wands is anger, rage, violence, and sexual misconduct. The Hierophant is also the teacher to the Emperor, right? So he keeps him in check. This energy may be externalized as an actual advisor. This could just be the book by which this Emperor energy, this self-autonomous, this is my boat, individual, the rules they live by, the rules of their engagement. Okay? However, this Hierophant is the teacher, not always external to the Emperor, generally a mixture of the following: education, self-education, healing, self-healing, counselor, therapist, priest, spiritual teacher, life coach, religion, school of thought, and or practice. The purpose. There he is. You were wondering where he was, weren't you? The purpose is to resolve, to heal the emotional body, resolve trauma, repair to the resulting effects of the unresolved trauma. This is otherwise considered shadow work. So it is, in my opinion, the externalized view of shadow work is the Hierophant and the King of Cups. Resolving an inner high priestess. Your functioning system, your reasoning. Good. So let's take it a step back, and we're going to look at the kings. Again, the three kings. There are three core combinations of pre-emperor energy. So this is on the way to realizing the self and realizing the inner emperor, the control that you have in your life. It is usually a cascading effect. When these things get addressed, it spins you right into the position, the I'm taking control of my life position, in a prime set position to then do your shadow work. It's usually after one of the breakthroughs that I speak about with these three types. Okay? So first we'll look at type A. Type A is a King of Swords and King of Pentacles combination type. This type is traditional and practical. They participate and often thrive within a provided structure. In an academic structure, they likely perform well, they get good test grades, they write good essays, they get good grades and just perform well in an academic environment. In a business structure, they can thrive in a corporate setting or climb the ladder, okay? In societal or institutional structures, they are agreeable with capitalism, heterosexuality, and cisgenderhood. If they do have an issue with authority, that problem is usually solved once they are put in a position of authority, more than it has to do with changing any structures or policies. Type A may have a resentment towards or retaliatory sense against those with alternative thinking, ideas, expressions, identities, and preferences. This is protective of or to preserve their sense of correctness. That's going to be another video. But to their defense, this is what their logic says to them. Hey, these were the rules. This was the structure. I worked hard within these rules and structures and got to where I am because I did those things. What they're not saying and what they're not actualizing is how they felt about that. Maybe the pain and resentment that's involved with that. So it's projection. You don't get to change the rules and the structures that have worked for me because you didn't want to do the work and then do the necessary work. And what they're not saying is because you didn't want to endure the pain. We'll get to that. Oh, everybody's getting theirs. That one was the easy one. Everybody's getting theirs. Buckle up. Type B is the King of Swords and a King of Wands. This individual is a jack of all trades, yet a master of none. But not to forget the second half of that quote, which is, but oftentimes better than a master of none. Why? This individual is highly intelligent, analytical, creative, and which makes them an excellent critical thinker and problem solver. They are intrinsically motivated to do what they want to do, learn what they want to learn, explore, create, and express freely. Though these qualities are very admirable and inspiring, this type runs the risk of being too idealistic and not meeting their tangible needs. This combination has a retaliatory sense against the man or the system. This combination's individualistic nature, if not outright condemned or rejected, was never reflected within any structure or environment, creating an overall mistrust or rejection of said structures, environments, and institutions. The third type is a King of Wands and King of Pentacles. This combination type is very driven for success. They're a favorite candidate for leadership because they are charismatic, charming, usually attractive, well-dressed, well-groomed, physically fit. In general, they are quite magnetic, well-liked, creative, and intelligent. The lacking of the King of Swords, however, leaves this combination type susceptible to being impressionable. This may create an issue of a dependence on how the world around them approves of them, or an over-reliance on the external, tangible world for a sense of self-validation and achievement. This can be reflected in occupation, relationships, connections, appearance, and possessions. Boats and hoes, you know what I'm saying? Now, I don't want to say that these attributes are intrinsically, are inherently superficial. In fact, of all the three type combinations, this is the type combination that is enjoying life's pleasures the most. It's true. They are having more fun than you. Did you miss the part about boats and hoes? And they're also the target. They're the first target for other people's jealousy. But As discussed in the Feminine Archetype video, the Pre-Empress card, the Pre-Empress energy, is Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Wands. So essentially, this combination type is the externalization of the Empress. The Empress is resolved self-worth and value. She has the they have the ability to create and grow a life filled with abundance and pleasure. However, the lacking of this King of Swords energy, this combination type may get lost in the facade, caught up in the game. By being out of sync and out of touch, or flat out rejecting of an internal truth or conviction, this individual may find it difficult to find contentment. Insatiable is the word that comes to mind. It is also very common that this is easy to avoid because of the access to resources and pleasures that then get misused to guise the self from an inner truth, inner conviction, perception, that an internal truth that they don't want to confront. And that's usually tied to emotion that they don't want to face. I find this one to be extra challenging because these are the Empress, so everything externally is validating what you're doing. But there's almost like a total, it's a big wake up when this one gets woken up to understanding that there's something that they don't even really know who they are. Because the swords and the cups is the pre-high priestess energy that I mentioned before. Okay. So then we're moving forward to talk about then what does that shadow work kind of look like. You resolve your conflicts within, and then they reflect without. So the Emperor learns from this Hierophant energy to resolve his King of Cups energy as it pertains to the king that is the lacking sense. That's where the wake up, where the type of shadow work, the things that are dominantly addressed within that brand of shadow work. Okay. Of course, these are not absolute, okay? This is my theory. So, if we're to look at the type, this type C combination that needs to resolve the King of Swords, this is a matter of resolving inner truth, an authentic sense of self, what you believe in, and your inner conviction. There's a need to heal abandonment and rejection, because the way that it's been going so far as this combination type is to be who others want them to be, so they won't have to be rejected or abandoned. The confrontation then is how doing that is them rejecting themselves and abandoning a sense of themselves. Not very dissimilar from that, type B, that is the King of Swords and the King of Wands, has to resolve their issues, their King of Pentacles issues. So their Pentacles issues, they have to resolve their conflicts with authority, institutions, heal their relationship with money, finances, possessions, and self-worth. So in general, they need to heal self-worth and I think it's rejection. Self-worth, rejection, and trust issues, because they do not trust to be received. They do not trust to be valued. So they don't put themselves out there. They don't feel like they can put themselves out there. So then what they have to confront is that that behavior is them not trusting themselves, rejecting themselves, and not valuing themselves. To be able to be received, to receive, being valued and having their needs met. Type A combination, the King of Pentacles, King of Swords, the traditional type, they have to resolve their Wands energy. They may need to have to confront repressed desires, repressed expressions, control issues, their feelings about conformity. And they have to identify the source of lacking fulfillment in their life. So the issues that they have to heal have to do with control and rejection. So the way that they've done it so far is they jump through hoops, they go by the rules, they play by the book. They need to accept that that's not the only way to do it. It's a respectable way to do it, but people having other ways, new ways, different ways, does not compromise the value or integrity of the way that they did it. So they have to confront their control issues and that correctness issue. Also confronting that then when they are judging others, they are projecting and need to confront the pain of the pressure that they put onto themselves to conform. They need to broaden their perspective. That's an easy way to do it. And also really look at how they crave freedom. There's a sense of freedom that's lacking, because their sense of control is something that is reflected within the amount of control that they put onto themselves. And that control that they put onto themselves is often a type of repression. Okay. And that could have to do with self-value also. Okay. Ooh, I missed something. So like I said, the King of Cups and the Hierophant, to me, this is shadow work. When this Emperor realizes, it's all you have to do is see it. That's it. You just see it. Because then when you take the reins on your own life to say, I want to learn, expand, and grow, and then you're brought into that direction of the inner work, the shadow work, that is a big resolving of these healing traumas, repressed emotions, maybe resentments that you didn't know were there, pressures. So ultimately it's the alignment of the head and the heart. It's autonomy, inner truth, beyond the judgment of others, beyond the validation of others. So the Emperor plus the High Priestess brings you to the Magician. I do want to say these journeys are often triggered by encountering the sacred mirror. Okay? It's usually the catalyst. The catalyst for the big breakthrough. But the work is all you. Okay? And if you're doing it, thank you. Good job. Proud of you. The fully ascended masculine is the external expression or application of the divine masculine. The ascended masculine is not without his ascended, their ascended divine feminine. That infinity symbol is the high priestess and her functioning system, the aligned head and heart. The ascended masculine, the magician, does not suffer from a sense of lack. They have access and control of all of their elemental tools. A sword, truth, conviction, honesty, clarity, and clear perception. A pentacle, earthly pleasures, tangible resources, and materials. A wand, instincts, creativity, action, drive, ideas, and innovation. Also personal will. And a cup, the emotional intelligence and awareness. This is self-awareness, self-acceptance that leads to the ease and acceptance, the ease of acceptance of others, virtuous, unconditional love, expressive of unity consciousness. Now notice that the magician does not have an excess of any of the materials, just one of each. Each one is specifically and uniquely their own. Abundance is a concept that they carry, and wealth is the very nature of their existence and their experience of co-creating with spirit. The magician understands themselves as a conduit of universal energy. They can create, transmute, and attract all that they need into their life. They are the student, the teacher, the healer, and the master, the limitless creator of their reality. Well, that was my talk. I hope that you enjoyed that. Got something out of it. Have something to consider. And again, I want to thank you if you've made it to the end. You're a real one. I want to thank you also for putting yourself onto the difficult journey of healing and really looking at yourself within, looking and facing the effects of trauma and transmuting that energy, finding yourself worthy, trusting in the universe. And really, that's the biggest act of love that any individual could do. So for that, I thank you. I appreciate you. And that's the end of my talk. Hope you enjoyed it. See you later. Bye.